definitely.
You got to give it to Manong Derek Kawada, who really taught his younger brothers how to coach and still have their own character and personality in their teams.
I agree. Ooh, that's a hack. That's a hack by Rico Meyerhofer. And Pampulme had something to say. Not in front of the bench. A punch is thrown. A punch is thrown. Not what we wanted to see. Not early in this game, PJ.
Players of LaSalle left the bench. There were some players of LaSalle left the bench. We'll find out who the UE players were also who left the bench.
The others were prevented from.
But what's interesting is that after that foul, the referees did not even signal a flagrant or an unsportsmanlike foul.
On Rico Meyerhofer, you mean?
And Pampulme just did not like it and was in the face of Meyerhofer. It seemed like Meyerhofer was the first one to push him, and then, since it was in front of LaSalle's bench, they didn't have the cooler heads and they went straight for Pampulme, who got hit in the face.
Somebody threw a punch there, it's so obvious, and then on your screens, Mark Pampulme. Now this is where that mental fortitude of UE will come into play.
Right? You know, but here, let's look at this replay. Let's see the foul of Meyerhofer. Really hard hack on the head. But still, you can say you can argue he went for the ball. You can argue he went for the ball. And he admitted the foul right away. Pampulme was just
sticking up for his teammate and wanted something to say.
So see, the ref didn't even call a flagrant foul, and even you can still argue it wasn't a flagrant foul because he went for the ball. And Pampulme right in his face there. This is probably the best angle to see who from LaSalle threw that punch on Pampulme. Atkins goes at him. Coach Franz pulls him away. There's Joey Santa Maria. And there is a guy in a... Was that Ferdinand?
Cholo?
Was it Ferdinand?
Somebody with a
headband. Somebody with a headband with a punch.
Because Coach Franz and Joey Santa Maria were actually
So one of the bald heads with a headband in the south.
So there was Walsham, Brian Elad, and Cholo Villanueva all with headbands.
Right. But
so
they were all off the bench.
Yes.
So they're thrown out.
We couldn't see. No, I'm just saying that those are the possible, because we couldn't see.
This is the better angle, maybe, to see who got off the bench.
No, Cholo is in the ball game, so that cannot be Cholo.
Could have been Ferdinand. It could have been
Elad.
No, that's Ferdinand right there. Maybe Elad.
So let's not speculate and see.
Let's try to see first. Let's try to see the better angle.
So here's the commotion at the 56.6-second mark. And look at Coach Franz in the middle.
Elad on your left side of the corner. It might be him.
Oh,
there you go.
It is Brian Elad.
Wow. Inexperience right there.
That's what we were talking about.
He's clearly off the bench also.
And you know, Casio, Walsham, who is one of their enforcers, was just there. He didn't even involve himself.
But here's the question. It happened in front of the bench of LaSalle. What is your demarcation mark of who leaves the bench? Is it on the court? Was it happen on the corner? Right in the corner near the coolers, where the coolers are stationed for LaSalle.
Was there anybody from UE who left the bench? We're all going to try to clear that out, but that was total inexperience.
And we were talking about inexperience of the big man in a big game.
In a big game like this. A foul by Rico Meyerhofer. We've seen harder fouls before. So,
and it's a playoff hard foul. Let's put it that way. It's a playoff hard foul.
Coach Franz was there. Joey Santa Maria was there, but
Mangas left the bench. If you call that leaving the bench.
But Mangas was trying also.
But still, you can't leave the bench.
Yes, exactly.
You cannot leave the bench as a player.
But what constitutes as leaving the bench if you're there?
And it looks like some UE players were not able to leave the bench because
they were prevented.
It was the coaches who first ran, so it looks like they.
I think so. I think they were prevented. Now this is so unfortunate, DJ. In a game that was so much hype involved, the relevance, the importance, significance, and ramifications of this game.
Don't forget, whatever happens in this game, will get thrown out or what, they're both still in the semifinals. Whether stepped out of format. So if you lose a key player due to suspension in an all-important knockout game or a Final Four game, or for UE, could even be a finals game.
Yes,
you
that's
can lose
true.
a key player for the first game of the finals if somebody left the bench.
Somebody did. Those are a lot of questions, and obviously, as you look at the sea of red in front of you,
And you know what's so rare here? We have the referees in front of us. It seems like all of the UAAP Board of Governors are on the floor.
we have Mr. Ricky Palur, Nico Desagon, Father Desagon is here.
That is so rare to see them all on the floor, huddling with Commissioner Ed Cordero. I mean, this is when a commissioner does his job.
Exactly.
You know, if a board meeting is held, they do it after the game. So in any case, they're on the job and they're on the ball. They want to help out as much as they can.
And Cholo Villanueva was already...
So who leaves the bench for LaSalle?
Lingane wanted to get into it. France already was really...
Ilad. May buelo pa eh.
Oo eh.
Bang. Back of the head punch. So he's obviously going to get thrown out. It's so clear on the tape. So it seems like Ilad was the only who left the bench. Maybe even Mangas didn't leave the bench.
Yes, I think so. That would be a fair assessment.
Yeah.
And Coach Dito saw it from afar.
Yeah.
And look at JV hollering at Brian Ilad. Coach Jack Santiago also on Brian Ilad's case. They're telling them that it wasn't called for.
Right.
Why do we get involved in these things, TJ?
Kakataon sa atin talaga. But you know what's unfortunate for this situation? I'm sure all the fans of these two teams is magkapatid yung mga coach eh. Parang of all the teams that who will be rivals, it's not still rivals in the court, but I don't think they have such a heated rivalry to escalate to something like this.
Yes. And it just gets tougher when it's in front of your bench, you know? Parang there's that sense of territory.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You just don't want to mess with somebody on the opposing bench.
And again, this is where, and I will have to point this out, TJ, you know, that maturity and mental part of the game comes in. You saw JV Casio, you saw PJ Walsham. They didn't move an inch. They let Coach Frank Kumaren resolve
and the assistant coaches push him away. But unfortunately, the assistant coaches went on the floor to pull away the players on the floor.
Exactly.
Here's the official announcement.
Rico Meyerhofer, his first for Dlsu.
Is it a foul or a flagrant foul?
Technical foul on number 5, Mark from Ulme for taunting.
Taunting and computer. That's a good call.
Disqualifying foul on number 15, Brian Ilad for punching.
And sportsmanlike pa rin dito.
So Ilad's out of the game.
Technical foul on both benches.
Both benches.
With 2 free throws from
I didn't know what that's for.
plus the section to the UE.
Ilad is
The coaching staff, the bench of UE, that's why they're
really
also
don't know